Howdy Google Ads fans, and welcome back. In this lecture, I want to talk to you about something that we mentioned, but I want to go in more depth, called traffic sculpting, which is all about adding negative keywords to ad groups. No longer to campaigns, not to negative keyword lists. These aren't necessarily bad keywords. We're sculpting search terms to go into the right ad group when sometimes they might be triggering keywords in the wrong ad group, and I'll explain what that means. But first, a few of the benefits of traffic sculpting. One, you ensure that the right bid is being applied to the right search terms. Okay? If you have certain search terms triggering keywords and ad groups that have a default bid of $5, but you know that a bid of $2 is the right bid for a certain search term, that's going to be a massive benefit of sculpting. It's the number one benefit of sculpting. Second one is you get the most relevant ad copy. Most relevant ad copy for the search term. I'm going to show you some examples of that, and it'll make a lot more sense in a second. 3, when you have most relevant ad copy for the right search term, you get an increase in quality score, which in turn decreases your CPC, which in turn decreases your conversion rate, which in turn increases your ROI. And as you know, your ROI, ROAS, return on ad spend, and that's the holy grail. That's what we're trying to do. So these are some of the benefits that you get from traffic sculpting. Let's take a look at a couple different examples where traffic sculpting is really helpful. And these are actually real examples. So I'm going to draw out a little bit of a graph to make this all make more sense. So first we have keyword, let's say call it keyword A. And then we have ad group A. Then we have search term. Then we have keyword B. Then we have ad group B. And then we're going to have negative keyword. Okay, and we're going to do a couple examples. I'm going to try to make these lines as straight as possible. I'm an abstract artist, so I can't really draw straight lines, but this is not too bad. I think we get the basic idea. Okay, say for example we have a keyword, sofas for sale. Okay, that's a keyword that's keyword A. That keyword is inside an ad group that's labeled sofas. Why? Because that's an ad group that has ad copy that relates to sofas. And more importantly, it has a landing page that sends the users to the page on the website that sells sofas. But because, let's say this is a broad match keyword, right? Let's just call this broad match. We go into our search terms report and we see that it's triggering searches for sectionals for sale. Now, sectionals for sale is certainly a search term that could be triggered by keyword sofas for sale because Google would think that they're related. But here's the problem. The ad group that this keyword is appearing in has ads that are for sofas. So the ad copy talks about the sofas we have on sale, the starting price for our sofas, let's say. Our site link extensions, our call extensions relate to our sales and promotions and new products related to sofas. And most importantly, it sends people to a page on sofas. If somebody searches for sectionals for sale, they're looking for sectionals. We want them to see an ad with sectionals. We want them to go to the area on our site with sectionals. Where luckily, I have another ad group in ad group B. I have another keyword, sectionals for sale, that appears in an ad group titled sectionals. All right, and this ad group has ads that are talking about our sectionals, those ads send our traffic to a page on the site that actually shows all our sectionals, and the ad callouts and the ad extensions are all referring to our sectionals. But the problem is the search term for sectionals for sale is triggering an ad from this ad group sofas, and I want to avoid that. So simple enough, I would be able to go and add a negative keyword, and this is where the sculpting comes in. I'd make a negative keyword. My negative keyword is sectionals, and it's a broad match negative, okay? And instead of applying it to a campaign or a negative keyword list, I apply this negative keyword to ad group A, to this ad group. I apply sectionals as a negative keyword to my ad group for sofas. That way, if this search happens again, it will not be allowed to go into the sofas ad group, triggering from this keyword, because it's getting prevented by this negative keyword, which would then force Google to look for other areas of my account that would be eligible to have an ad. And sure enough, I have a keyword sectionals, and I have an ad group sectionals, and it would sculpt this search term from this ad group and sculpt it into my sectionals ad group with the right ad copy, with the right ad text, etc. That's the idea of traffic sculpting. You might be wondering, and you might have a very, very good question. And that question might be, why would this even happen? Why do I even need to do this traffic sculpting? If I have an ad group for sofas and I have an ad group for sectionals, why would a search from sectionals for sale, why would Google give it an impression in the wrong ad group? The answer is that you could never predict all the different variables that are at play. There's time of day. There's the competitive landscape that changes from ad group to ad group. There's different bids. There's live quality score that happens in real time. For whatever the reasons might be, you're never going to know exactly what those reasons are, but you should know that if you have a broad match keyword and you have a broad match keyword for a better ad group that you know is better, Google will not always give you the right impression in the right ad group. You have to do the work. You have to do the optimization to make sure the traffic gets sculpted in the right place. Let's take a look at another example. Say I have a keyword, I'm a local company, I'm a plumber, or I run a plumbing business, hire plumber. Okay, that's the keyword. It's generic, it doesn't really have anything very specific, and I have an ad group, and that ad group is, let's say, called plumber, GEN for generic. It doesn't have any like hire plumbers in a location or hire plumbers near me, etc. And now let's say I have a search term. The search term is plumbers near me. Okay, now this search term shows that a person is looking to hire a local plumber, maybe looking to hire a local plumber, faster or whatever it may be. And plumber near me is a search term that's being triggered by this broad match keyword hire plumber. But I don't want that, and I have another ad group, and let's say I'm bidding lower, right? So let's say this keyword has a max bid of $1, right? But I have another keyword. I have a keyword called plumbers near me. I have that keyword in an ad group that has a default bid of $5, and the ad group name is local plumber. Okay? Well, the reason why the traffic sculpting here is so important, maybe the ad is going to the same place, right? Maybe the landing page for ad group B, local plumber, is the same landing page as ad group A, plumber generic. But the bids are different. I know that when somebody searches for hire plumber, it's generic. I only want to bid $1. My historic data has shown me that's what's profitable. But when somebody searches for plumbers near me, I want them to inherit a $5 bid. And again, the bid is only one component of ad rank, right? So Google might take a look at this $5 bid, they might take a look at this $1 bid and still give you the impression in this ad group. I know it doesn't make that much sense, but it absolutely happens, and you'll see this from your own account. So I could do the same thing, I could do some sculpting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the word, let's say, where's my red pen? I'm gonna add a couple negative keywords. For this one, I'm gonna do, let's say, near me, broad match, local, negative, broad match. Where am I gonna apply these? I'm gonna apply near me and local as a negative in ad group A. So if anybody searches for near me or local, this search term, plumbers near me, will now have to go into ad group B, inherit my $5 bid. That's another reason to do traffic sculpting in such an environment. Even when the landing page between the two ad groups are the same, the bids are different, and I want to make sure I'm bidding the right amount for higher quality keywords, and I'm bidding less for lower quality keywords. Let's take a look at another product-based example, and this is an example that actually came up, as are these all. So say I have a keyword, picture frames online. Okay, that's the keyword. Ad group is online picture frames. And the search term that's showing up for this keyword, picture frames online, is black floater frames. Now, because black floater frames is a specific type of frame, because black floater frames are a specific type of frame that's extremely popular, I have a special ad group just for that floater frame. We run special promotions for that specific product. We have a specific page on the site that gives a list of our 5 best-selling black floater frames. We have special call-outs. We have different site link extensions for that ad group. And sure enough, we have, I'm just going to do BL for black floater frames as a keyword in our black floater ad group, all right? So sure enough, we could do some traffic sculpting here. And I wanna make sure that any single time somebody searches for black floater frames shows up, this ad shows up, an ad from ad group B shows up and not an ad from ad group A. So I'll add black and floater as negatives in ad group A, which will then sculpt anytime somebody searches for black floater frames into, again, ad group B, giving the right ad and sending the traffic to the right place. Let's look at one more example, which is actually location-based. So say I have a keyword, I'm a car rental company, and my keyword is car rentals NYC for New York City, okay? Car rentals NYC, that's my keyword, and I have a special ad group for rentals NYC, which means my ad in this ad group is going to have NYC in the display URL. It's going to go to the New York booking page on our site. It's going to talk about special deals we have in New York. It might talk about the special, maybe we have a few different cars available in New York, or we have an additional add-on limousine chauffeur service to JFK Airport and LaGuardia Airport in New York, right? New York is a really specific ad group, and I want to put my best foot forward and send users to the most specific page on our site when somebody's searching for rentals in New York. But the search term that's being triggered, and this is sort of a reverse example from the last time, say we're having a search term that is, something more generic, vacation car rentals, okay? Now, vacation car rentals doesn't include a place. It could be somebody booking way in advance. It could be a person who's just doing some research. It doesn't have as much commercial intent. It's not as relevant to me as something like car rentals NYC. So this is an example that has both components. The ad from that ad group is sending the person to the wrong page, and it's also getting the wrong bid. Because car rentals NYC, I might be willing to pay $3 for a click, but for vacation car rentals, I only want to pay $2 for a click. And it's being sent to the wrong place. But luckily, I have another keyword in a different ad group. I have an ad group, I have a vacation rentals keyword, vacation car rentals keyword, which exists inside my vacation ad group. Vacations, let's say. That's the name of my ad group. So if I want to make sure that vacation car rentals only goes into this, if I want to make sure that vacation car rentals only goes into my vacations ad group, I would go ahead and add vacations as a broad match negative inside my rentals New York City ad group, which would make sure that anytime somebody searches for vacation car rental, it would show an ad, Google would show an ad from my vacations ad group. Now, things could get a little bit trickier. So for example, let's say I have other keywords in this ad group, vacation rentals or vacation car rentals New York City, right? Now, This is going to be a problem because if I add vacations as a broad match negative to my rentals New York City ad group, then when somebody searches for vacation car rental NYC, it's also going to be prevented. So what do? Well, remember match types. What I could do is take vacation car rental, with brackets. Make an exact match negative. Now, if I add vacation car rental as an exact match negative to my rentals New York City, then anytime somebody searches for vacation car rentals without New York City, will not show up in my rentals New York City ad group. Vacation car rental exact match, and if somebody searches for just vacation car rental, would show up now in my vacations ad group. But if I don't have, let's say I remove that negative. If somebody searches for vacation car rentals NYC, then Google could still show this ad. And if I want to get even more sophisticated, I would go into my ad group B, and what would I do? I would add New York, NYC, NY, New York, Manhattan. I would add all these as also negatives to do a dual sculpt. So I could sculpt the New York City search terms away from the vacations ad group, and I could use exact match negatives vacation car rentals as negatives in my rentals New York City ad group, making sure that if somebody just searches for vacation car rentals, it's going to go into the vacation ad group, and anytime somebody uses New York and Manhattan in their search term, it's going to go into the rentals New York City ad group, even if vacation is included in that term. So if somebody searches for vacation New York car rentals or New York City car rentals for vacations, I will still get that more aggressive bid in my New York City page because I've decided that out of the two modified terms, taking vacation and New York is the one that I want to be more relevant for. New York is the one that I want to service. That's the one that is most meaningful. That's the place on my site that I have a separate section for. I have separate cars, separate deals, whatever it is. Vacation is just maybe it might be expressing some commercial intent. It might be telling me I'm a little bit higher up in the funnel. But New York City is where I have the differentiating content on my site and in my ad copy and in my bids to really close that sale, to be more aggressive with the click. So I use this dual sculpting to make that work. So remember, I know that this got a little bit messy, but I think you guys should understand the concept of sculpting now. In the next lecture, I'm going to walk you through and show you exactly how to add keywords at the ad group level. And then I'm going to show you an optimizer, a really, really neat tool that's going to show you, and we're going to be doing a few different interesting things in optimizers throughout this course, how to get sculpting ideas based on their algorithm, which is really neat. And then you could create those sculpted negative keyword lists for ad groups really, really quickly. And then we will take it from there. But remember that sculpting is important. It's not as important as your primary job of adding negative keyword lists. It's a secondary negative keyword optimization. Most importantly, you want to make sure that you're adding negative keywords at the campaign level. But it's a really good technique. It's really important to know. And as you get more sophisticated, you're going to see that sculpting at the ad group level will incrementally increase the profitability of your account over time. So hope that makes sense. We will pick this up in a couple seconds in the very next lecture.